It makes me so sad when it's, oh, what should we do tonight? Let's just stay at home, have some beef stew. I could cry. I always wake up and the first thing I do is dance because I am fun. Oh, do I smoke? I'm a chain smoker. Do I believe in God? Well, that's no fun. Hey, what are you doing down there? Judging every move I make? Absolutely not. No. He'd tear me to shreds. What I'm looking for in a man, big, beefy arms.
Hello, my little insurance copays. How are you today? This is Millennial Meg. Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, hello. It's still Millennial Meg, and welcome to the channel. In today's unhinged, tidy up, whatever situation, we are going to do a lot of things. We're going to cover a lot of ground. Ronnie there in the intro. I was going to say she's my spirit animal, but honestly, like, I don't 100% relate to her. I am not that energetic normally, but I definitely was a chain smoker, and I hold similar religious beliefs to Ronnie. I saw her, and I'm a dancer, so I guess we do have a lot in common. Except I would love to just have beef stew and a night in. Honestly, I think that would be a delight. It doesn't make me sad. So welcome. If you're brand new here, sorry, this is probably a strange introduction, but we're gonna do our best. I have so much to tell you, which is why this video is so long. I didn't speed everything up. Oh, we went to a birthday party with Amelia. I have more birthday party stories since that was so popular last time I talked about a kid's birthday party. But we did tie-dye, and I got tie-dye dye on her dress that she was wearing. So that was a bummer. But we have a lot to talk about, a lot to clean. That's why this video is long, and I'm not in like hyper speed throughout the whole thing. Although I will reassure you, there are many parts where I am sped up so that you're not, watching paint dry while I talk. But hopefully my voiceover will keep you entertained and we can hang out together for the next little while. So buckle in, let's get going. Why did I call you my little copays today? Well, there are two reasons. Number one, Beth over at Feral Tradwife has accused me of charging her thousands of dollars in copays over the last few weeks. Listen, I feel like I'm a fair friend and professional. If she wants my advice, she has to pay for it just like everybody else. But it isn't. Listen, she was exaggerating a little. It's not $3,000, you guys. That's crazy. That is how much it would cost if I was to provide like emergency services. But my regular copay is not that much. And honestly, it depends on her insurance. So it's not even within my control how much she has to pay out of pocket. But the second reason that I called you my little doctor copays or insurance copays is because I myself have had to pay so many copays to so many doctors. And our health insurance is garbage. We have United Healthcare, which, free Luigi, if you know, you know, but we have so much that we have to pay out of pocket for things. Like, I think I told you before, if you've been watching, when I go to the emergency department, my personal out-of-pocket cost is $750. That's after insurance. Like, that's aside from what my insurance covers. I pay $750. My primary doctor that I see, like my general practice doctor, I have an $80 copay to see him. Okay, today you're going to see me do some serious decluttering. This is tanning oil. Do I look like someone who uses tanning oil on a regular basis? I think the last time I used tanning oil for real, like in a serious way, was when I was probably like 16 years old. So anyway, I threw the tanning oil away. You're welcome. You're also going to see me throw away hundreds of dollars of food later. Oh, there's the tie-dye shirt that we made at the birthday party. So, okay, but let me finish my copay thoughts and then we can talk about other things. So, again, we have plenty of time today, so don't worry. But I want to get the health stuff out of the way first because for those of you who have been following along, I would love to give you my cardiology update. So, here we go. So, anyway, to see my general practice doctor, $80 is my copay. To go to urgent care or immediate care for some reason is less expensive, so $50. And today, when I went to see the cardiologist, my out-of-pocket copay was $120. So, so for specialists, anything with an ologist at the end, I have to pay $120. Now, allegedly, if I see a primary doctor who is a tier 1 provider, it's supposed to only be a $40 copay, but my doctor is listed as a tier 1 provider and I still get charged $80. And my husband's doctor, because my husband was like, oh, you should find a tier 1 provider. I'm like, I did. It doesn't matter. Turns out when I asked him, he also pays $80 to see his primary doctor. So, boo. I don't know what mic drop noise I was trying to say there, but that's what came out. Also, stop judging me for how I put the baking soda in my laundry. My son just went on a fishing trip. He went, I don't know, whatever. He goes on a lot of fishing trips, but I put some of his items in there. And I think towels. Did I just put towel? I don't know what the hell I put in there. Anyway, I put stuff in there. I was washing my hands. Hello. I put stuff in there that was smelly. It was either his stuff or towels that had chlorine, whatever. Either way, I put baking soda because I feel like it helps get the smells out better instead of having to wash everything twice, which is what I was doing with my son's laundry. Like he would do it and then he'd put all of his stuff in the washer and then I would go to put it in the dryer and I would be like, it still smells a little funky because he's a teenage boy. And so I would wash it again. So now I'm like, let's just cut to the chase and put the baking soda in the first time. And it's been going great, except now there's baking soda gunk in the washer. And whenever Ed sees it, he's probably going to tell me not to do that anymore. But I don't know. Is there I guess I could measure it, but I have ADHD and I don't measure anything. So you get what you get. And that's it. And don't throw a fit, I think. So where to go next? Now what are we talking about? Okay, so healthcare is expensive. I spent a lot. Let me just update you on what you're going to be seeing. I decided early this morning, see, I still have my walking shoes on. I did my early morning, 5:30 a.m. little treadmill walk. Then I started some laundry. Then I'm going to tidy up the basement because it has again become a shit show. As per usual, I feel like it becomes a shit show every couple of weeks. And then look at this. Look at that. Look at that balance and core strength. I was going to get up in my old lady way like I normally do. And then I had the thought oh, I should show them that I can still get up like I did when I was in ballet class when I was 13. Because that's how we used to, if we had to go into the splits, we used to have to go into the splits without holding on to anything. And then that's how we would have to stand up. And I can still do it. So there you go. Although don't worry, you will see me get up poorly more times also. So I still also get up like an old person. Here's his sleeping bag. That's how it came home. We're gonna fix that because he's gonna have to use it again a couple times this year at least. So I'm gonna find some dirty socks in there, empty it out, and fold it appropriately. Yes, so we're gonna clean the basement, tidy that up, make it look better, take all this cardboard. There's a huge bunch of cardboard on the side. I don't know what this camera angle was. I am so haphazard with my filming. This is why I'm not a massive success like Beth. I do not take pride in my cinematography. Yes, it'll be interesting when we're together later in the fall to see our, like, if we both vlog, to see the difference. Yes, but anyway, moving on. So we're gonna clean this up. I think we do other stuff. I clean out my fridge. I throw away hundreds of dollars worth of food. My husband makes a snarky comment at me about that, and I did not make a snarky comment back, even though I wanted to. And then Amelia and I went to a different farmer's market that day. That was super fun. It was beautiful. It was such gorgeous weather. It was not humid. It was like 75 degrees. It was the most perfect day on the planet, and we stayed for like 3 hours. It was amazing. And she got her face painted like a tiger, and it was so cute. And then when we had to wash it off in the bath that night, she was like, I don't want to turn back into a human. She was so cute. So we're cleaning all that. We get fresh flowers. I do some flower arranging. I clean the whole kitchen basically. Ed cleaned the kitchen while I was gone at the farmer's market. Like, he actually mopped the floors and everything. That was incredible. I give him full credit for that. He ran the dishwasher, took out some garbage. So I was able to then clean out the fridge and clean out a couple of cabinets and just declutter the hell out of them. Just throw so much food away. And then what else did we do? Oh, and I cleaned off the top of my dresser after putting some laundry away. So that's what we're doing, what you're going to be seeing. And now the rest of the time I can just talk about the other stuff, because now you know what's going to happen. So cardiology today. I know I've been holding you in suspense. Did I or did I not have a heart attack? The verdict now from 2 doctors is that I have not had a heart attack, probably. And so I'm going to just accept that as truth and move on and stop being anxious about it, because anxiety is a choice. As horrible as that sounds, it is a choice. And the first time I heard that, I got real big mad, so angry and resentful, because who would choose to be anxious? Who would choose to have anxiety attacks, right? Not most people. But it turns out if you don't do anything about the anxiety and you don't get it under control and you don't harness your thoughts, then anxiety, you are choosing to stay in anxiety. I'm showing you some costumes that my friend bought us for, and that is a stupid Christmas hat I'm going to throw away because we don't need it. Decluttering, yay! Now next up is to stop buying more crap, but today is not the day for that. So, oh my gosh, I completely forgot what I was saying. That's okay. I'll think about it while you watch me try to fold up this pool float that I've used like twice in my life. Yeah. So anyway, oh yes, anxiety is a choice. It's a choice, and that sucks. Because obviously it doesn't feel like a choice. It feels very out of control. It feels very not a choice. It feels like something that is happening to you out of your control. But I have realized several times over the last 5 years that it is a choice and that I can do something about it. And I am currently doing something about it. I am choosing to trust what the doctors are saying. The cardiologist today was lovely. I had to drive an hour to the office because I wanted the soonest available appointment, and I was willing to drive an hour to make that happen. So I went to this gorgeous hospital that was built, within the last 10 years. It is stunning, gorgeous, amazing. I love hospitals so much, and especially nice, shiny, fancy ones. So I went in, saw the cardiologist. She was lovely. And she basically said, hey, I looked at the EKGs from your emergency room visit. So backstory, if you really, really quick. If you've been watching me, then sorry. But if you're new, backstory, I was in the emergency room recently. Look at this super mostly clean, fine basement. I went to the emergency room a month or so ago, and there was an EKG reading that said there was evidence that I may have had a heart attack in the past. And that freaked me out because who wants a heart attack? Like, who wants damage to your heart? So I wanted to follow up. So today I followed up. I saw the cardiologist, and she said she read the same EKGs that I just got. She didn't do a new one. She read the old ones, and she basically said they're fine. She understood how it may have come out that way, like how the write-up that accompanied the readings may have come out that way. But she said that it was likely an error. It was, and which is also what my primary doctor said. Oh, here's the flowers we got at the farmer's market. Gorgeous. They do like a pick your own thing. So I just picked the ones I liked, and then I'm like rearranging them myself. So she said basically like what happens is that when people are in the ER, and they get EKGs, like the emergency room doctor will look at them and then make their own assessment. But at the end of the day, or the end of the shift, or whenever they get around to it, there is a cardiologist who is on shift for the hospital, who his job is to review all of the EKGs for that shift or that day or whatever. And so she said oftentimes when that happens, it's really easy for there to be errors in how those are processed. And so she was like, it probably, the way she kept describing it, I'm not sure like exactly how this works, but she was saying that probably what happened is that he was just like clicking boxes, and that phrase that came out on my chart is probably the result of like he just clicked a box and like that's what the computer spit out as the result, like the most likely result. It wasn't that he was sitting there and like typing it out on his own in a very thoughtful manner, which is a little like, it's reassuring. Like I do believe her because I've worked in a hospital and I've worked in healthcare, and I can totally see that happening, right? Like at the end of a day, if you've seen a million patients, or like if you're reviewing a million charts, it is so easy to just get like clicking fatigue, and you're just like clicking away, and you just want to get it over with. Actually, as I'm recording this voiceover right now, I have documentation from last week that I need to be doing. And my ADHD is forcing me to abandon that effort and do this instead because this is more fun. But don't worry, I will get it done. I will get it done today. I promise, because otherwise I won't get paid, and I need to get paid. So that's fine. But long story short, I believe her. I think that sounds fine. And she said that like I said, she reviewed the testing strip, the way that it was entered, or she was able to look at it in my chart, and she was just like, yeah, I can see how that happened, or like why he might have clicked that box. But she said she does not think that, based on that EKG and based on what I'm telling her about how I'm functioning day to day, how I'm feeling, the fact that I'm able to easily like do a 3-mile walk every morning on my treadmill and not get super fatigued or out of breath. She's like, I don't think you had a heart attack. I don't think we have to worry about that. And then she put in like all of my health data into some calculator that she had, like some, I don't know, algorithm, actuarial chart. I don't know what it was. But she was like, the chances of you, based on this information, having a heart attack in the next 10 years is like 1.3%. And I was like, oh, well, that sounds pretty low. That's reassuring. Although the only I would say, like, so she was overall super positive, super reassuring. I felt good leaving. However, the only bad or like mildly negative thing that she said was, because I had postpartum preeclampsia, She said women who've had preeclampsia are at a like 3 times higher risk, or I said 3 times or 3%. I feel like that's an important thing to know, but I failed statistics the first time I took it, so I'm actually not sure. But either way, she said there is a higher risk that women with or people who have had preeclampsia, that they have a higher risk of having heart disease in the future, which therefore increases their risk for heart disease, which is what I just said. No, increases their risk for things like heart attack and stroke and all that kind of stuff. So she said, it is important that we keep an eye on my cholesterol. It is important that we keep an eye on my blood pressure. It is important, for me to get blood work done every year just to keep an eye on things. But she said, overall, I'm probably fine. Like for right now, everything's good. And yeah. Now, I didn't like her diet recommendations. There's Amelia with her tiger face. Oh my gosh, she is so excited about that. So freaking cute. But yeah, so she was like, you're fine, you're great. I didn't like her diet advice, but I don't know what I was expecting, because most doctors, like I'd say probably 95% of MDs here in the United States. We bought a book about a giraffe, and I think I'm going to show you the other treats I bought, which is hilarious because what I'm about to tell you about my diet. We bought baked goods. Yes, that's why I'm making that face, because she was saying like, oh, the DASH diet, which again, like 95% of doctors here in the United States are going to say, if you have heart issues or blood pressure, like, oh, you should follow the DASH diet, which I can put a visual up here maybe if I remember later. But basically it's like low sodium, low red meat, like fine on the whole grain carbs, and really focus on like vegetables and low glycemic fruits. So that's what the DASH diet is. Now, I personally, what I'm going to try to do, don't hold me to it. Oh, here's the fridge. It's disturbing. We're really going to get to it today. Look at all that. Ugh. Again, grateful that we have the resources to have this much food, but my ADHD, I'm going to blame it on that, makes it so that I don't always buy exactly what we need for exactly what we're going to eat, and then we don't eat it, and then it goes bad, and then we throw it away. Also, that all that stuff from Home Chef, I'm going to toss it because I basically didn't even really pay for it. Like, I made the order accidentally because I had canceled, and then I like was going to change my mind, but then I didn't, but then I did, but then I didn't. I went back and forth, and then I accidentally locked myself in. And look, now it's magically clean. Just kidding. I'm joking. I'm going to show you what I did. Just kidding. But basically I thought I canceled, and then I got charged a boatload for the order. And I was like, whoa, I thought I canceled this order. Why did you charge me? And they're like, oh, there's nothing we can do. And I said, that I'm sure there is something you can do, actually. And then they were like, oh, okay, I guess we'll give you like 50% off. And I said, thank you, because I didn't want it. So anyway, it was basically free, kind of. So I'm not that mad that I didn't need it. So what am I gonna do? I'm not doing the DASH diet. I'm going to just try and do like a Whole30 situation, like no processed carbs. So I'm not going to eat any more of those baked goods that I got from the farmer's market. Like no bread, no crackers, no chips, no anything that you buy like in the middle sections of the grocery store, basically, right? Like only meats, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds. That's really it. Like that's it. I'm also going to try and stay away from grains like rice or anything like that. Like any grain, any processed anything, like if it like a bread, like muffins, donuts, whatever. I from what I listen to, like the the YouTube gurus, I guess, um, which are a lot of like doctors who were traditionally trained and then have since like opted out of Western medicine, and they're more interested in like using diet and lifestyle to help people overcome their issues, right? Like their hormonal issues, their weight issues, their heart issues, their fibromyalgia, like Lyme disease, you name it. Like these doctors are the ones who autoimmune. That's what I was trying to think of. The people I'm listening to who have seen a lot of success with using diet to help treat people, all of them say some version of stop eating processed foods, right? Like stop eating sugar, stop eating processed carbs. And then like your hormonal issues will be better, your autoimmune issues will resolve, your heart issues will get better. Like that's what I hear. I have like I don't know. I feel like when I do eliminate those things, or when I have in the past, I have felt better. Um, when I eat a lot of processed carbs, like if I eat a bagel, I want more bagel, right? I mean, I've been able to recently like just eat half a bagel and feel okay about it, but my mouth, I always talk about like my mouth is hungry for something rather than like my stomach is empty. It's always like yum yum yum, like I just want to taste more. Like I want more sugar, more carbs when I eat carbs and sugar. So my plan is to just stop it. As we explored last week with Bob Newhart, right? Like just stop it. Just stop it. Um yeah, so that's my plan. Look at that beautiful, clean table. Oh no, but now look at all the mess we got to clean up. Oh no. But we're going to do it. So, yeah, so that's my plan. That's my plan. I have seen Beth do my friend I don't know, whatever. You guys know who she is. Or if you don't, I guess it doesn't matter. But Beth, my friend, she has been doing amazing on keto. Like she feels good. Like yes, she's lost weight. That's fine. Would I like to lose weight? Sure. But more importantly, I guess you're supposed to say that. More importantly, I want my heart to be healthy. I want to not get diabetes. Like I just want to feel and I want to like all this weird stuff going on with my allergies and stuff, like and my histamine issues. Like I want to feel better. I want to feel healthy. Like I don't want to feel the way that I've been feeling the last couple months. I do keep feeling better and better. Like today, I feel almost completely normal, right? Like I mean, as normal as I can be, but I feel good. Like my blood pressure has been great. It's been like, 116 over 80 or 75. Like blood pressure's back to normal, knock on wood. I feel fine. I don't feel that heaviness. I don't feel that like face heaviness or chest heaviness that I was feeling the last few weeks. So I feel good. My itching is mostly better. I've had a couple flare ups, but overall, I'm feeling better. So now I just need to get steady on the diet and just adopt that as my life, I guess, and see how it goes. Although I am going to try and just take it one day at a time. Because I think the idea, like when I tell myself, oh, you're never going to have processed carbs again, I panic a little inside. Like there's a little voice inside of me that's like, uh-oh, you're really going to miss those Boston cream donuts that you get from your favorite donut shop. Or, uh-oh, you're really going to miss sourdough bread with butter. Or you're really going to miss pasta and pizza and and, brioche buns on your burgers and, sub sandwiches. And, there's just my brain starts thinking about all the carbs I'm going to miss. And then I panic a little bit, and then I have to remember, like, oh, it's okay. Like, I can eat 80 to 90% clean. And if I want to have a piece of sourdough bread once a week, that's fine. Like, nobody's going to call the police on me. Like, it's okay. It's not a crime. Um Ooh, speaking of which, our neighbors did have the police called. And did you know that you can just listen to the police scanner? Like, you can just Google your town's police scanner and listen to it. I mean, I don't know if you can do that for every town, but we can in my town. So that was fascinating. You know what? Let's talk about that. Why not? We've got almost a half hour left. So let's talk about that. So here's a juicy story. Our neighbors, we live in an unincorporated area. Okay, which is like the opposite of an HOA. Like all the things that people hate about HOAs, we don't have any of that, right? Like, you can have chickens, you can have a rooster, you can have a goat if you want. Like, nobody's gonna check, nobody cares, which is kind of cool. However, the bad part of that is that you also can do a lot of other things that most nice people wouldn't do, but some of our neighbors do, right? Like have massive like piles of things that they burn, right? Like burning their garbage. We had one neighbor have so many crazy fires that we literally thought like our house was going to burn down because their fires were so huge, and right next to our fence and right next to their shed. Like, it's like they didn't care if their shed burned down. I don't know. But anyway, thank God nothing ever happened. But they do a lot of crazy fires. And then our other neighbor was doing some burning, like, of his garbage, right? Of his like construction materials, because he just built a deck on the back of his house. And every single nice day on the weekend for like 2 weeks, they would just burn. Like, you couldn't go play outside. You couldn't do anything outdoors because it was just constant burning. Look at me throwing away this cup. That cup would be a perfectly good reusable cup, but we don't need it. So you know what? It's going in the garbage because we don't need it. We don't need more cup clutter, right? I was going to throw that zucchini away, but it's not bad yet. So we're going to keep it until it does go bad, and then we'll throw it away. Because I grew it in my garden, and we don't throw away perfectly good food. We wait till it goes bad, and then we throw it away. So anyway, our neighborhood is wild, right? Like, our neighbors behind us with the huge fires, they scream at their children. They curse at their children in the backyard. They walk around naked in their house with their lights on at night. Like, there's a lot going on in that house. And then our next door neighbor, this is the police neighbor. Our next door neighbor has an alcohol and or drug problem. I'm not sure if it's one or the other or both. He's usually pretty well behaved. He has a wife and like a teenage daughter who I think maybe is college age now, but he is my same age, which I found out from the police scanner because they said his birthday. Um, but he looks at least 10 to 15 years older than me. Like, at least. He is, as they say, like, rode hard and put away wet. Like, he is, if you know, like, people with addictions who struggle to eat, he's really skinny and he never wears a shirt, like, does not own a shirt, I don't think. But, well, sometimes he has some shirt. Like, he used to, whatever. He has a job where he has to drive a truck for the company. So, like, he does occasionally wear shirts, but at home, no, does not wear a shirt. Very thin man, very unwell. So I say this, the story I'm about to tell you, I'm not judging him, right? Like, I am just fascinated by other people's business, which is why I'm a counselor. So I have compassion for him, but this is craziness. So we got home on I don't know what day it was. Someday. Oh, maybe, I don't know, whatever day it was. My husband and I both got home at the exact same time because we had met up somewhere and then we both drove home at the same time. And as we were driving into our neighborhood, we see like 4 sheriff vehicles parked. And there was no activity. Like I think they were already inside the house, like having a conversation maybe. I don't know. Like their lights weren't on. The cop cars were just parked on our street. And there was no commotion outside. So we pull up, we go inside, and immediately I check the Facebook page for our local county scanner, like the police and fire scanner. There was nothing. There was nothing. I was very disappointed. They're pretty good with like reporting like car crashes and stuff. They're not so good with reporting like, small domestic things. So anyway, there was nothing. So then I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can just go directly to the source. Like maybe I can get the actual police scanner. And so it turns out if you Google it, you can find it. So I found it. And my husband and I sat there while the cop cars were still outside. And we were able to listen to what had happened from like 20 minutes prior to us driving up into our driveway. So we had like just missed it by literally like by 20 minutes. So turns out our poor neighbor, his poor family, honestly, mostly, but also him, like addiction is a disease. I believe it. Like nobody wants to have an addiction. So I guess he's been to the hospital a few times. Like we've seen him go out on a gurney a couple times to the ER. Okay. So like this guy has had some troubles. So it turns out, according to the scanner, this poor guy had gone for detox, was supposed to be in some sort of rehab situation, was not supposed to be at his house. Like, I guess that was the agreement, was not supposed to be at his house. And he was big mad about that, like, was not happy. And so he, I guess, was like trying to break into his own house, was threatening that he was going to like break the windows to get in. And so causing a big commotion. And I guess he just went in, I think was the resolution. Like, which I feel so sad for all involved, because not to get too far into like details about like my family of origin, but my brother I don't talk about my brother a lot because I don't talk to him, but my brother has had some issues, some addiction issues throughout his life. And I watched my parents struggle over the past, 20 years. Just trying to, maybe more than that, probably like 30 years, honestly, since he was a teenager. But yeah, so just trying, you try to set a boundary, you try to force the person into a situation where they have to get help. And then, for a million reasons, right? There's always a good excuse, always a good reason. The person doesn't want to stay sober, doesn't want the help, doesn't want to live in the supportive living arrangement that you've, worked night and day for months to figure out. And so I don't know. It just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because I'm sure that poor family next door is really, really, really struggling. But as a neighbor, right? Like, what do you show up with a casserole? Like, how do you, it's not like the person has cancer or something where it would be like socially acceptable to come over and be like, hey, heard you're going through cancer treatment. Like, how can I support your family? Can we bring you some food? Do you want like DoorDash gift cards? Like, you need us to drive your kid somewhere? You know what I mean? Like when the issue that the family is struggling with is addiction, there's this whole other layer of like secrecy and embarrassment, for many families, right? I don't know about every family. Like maybe they're not embarrassed. I don't know. But I think in general, that's like the assumption, right? Is that it's like this hidden secret, which it is, right? Like our neighbor has never come over. Like the wife, I think I've only seen her like 4 times in my life, and we've lived there for 5 years. And so, what, like we're not close. We don't communicate really. Except, very occasional, like, you wave at each other while you walk by, or, in the morning, or when somebody's walking the dog or whatever. But we don't know them, right? So it's just, I don't know. It's really sad. It's really sad because you know that they're struggling, but how do you support them? I don't know. If you guys know, I mean, if you've had anybody in your life in that situation, like what would have helped you? What might have helped you feel supported? I think for my parents, it was just having their friends or family members like just listen to them, right? Like just be there. Not everyone can do that. Like there were times throughout the years where I had to ask my parents to please not share everything with me because um it was too painful for me, right? To hear about the horrible things that were happening to my brother, but like, when he would go in and out of prison or jail or rehab or whatever, like that's traumatic, right? For the person. But it's also super traumatic for the loved ones, for the parents, for the spouse, for the whoever. My brother doesn't have a spouse, but for people who may or may not, right? It's just really traumatic for everybody involved. Like for the person going through it, because they're in a vulnerable position and can get hurt, they're in danger, right? They're vulnerable. But then for the loved ones around them trying to support them, it's just like trauma after trauma because you never know what's going to happen. Like you never know what screwball thing is going to pop up next. You never know, like, if the police show up, like what news they're going to bring to you, or if you never know, like where the person is, or if they're safe, or if they're not safe, or whatever, right? And you never know if what you're doing is the right thing, or if what you're doing is over functioning, or if you're not letting them hit rock bottom, or you are letting them hit rock bottom, but then they could die. Like it's just a lot. It's a lot. And so I think for my parents to just have people to be there and not try to give advice or not try to shame them or give them solutions, right? Like to just literally be like, wow, that is heavy. That is really heavy. Like let's go for a walk or let's have a dinner. But when people start to try to problem solve or like, well, you should just da da da, like you should just make him go to rehab, and it's like, oh, okay, or you should just make him live in a supportive living house with with support, and it's like, wow, or you should just send him to the mental health hospital, and it's like there are so few resources for adults who have free will, right? Like in terms of what family can do for them, right? Like you cannot force an adult to go to rehab. You cannot force an adult typically to go to inpatient psych. You know what I mean? Like it takes very extreme, specific criteria to get help. And then even once they get help, like insurance will not pay for the person to stay very long in the hospital or to stay very long in a rehab facility. So it is rough. These shirts, sorry, pivot, these shirts I just bought from Boden, and they were shipped all the way from England. And they're so cute, and Amelia likes them a lot. And I'm so excited that the weather's getting cold enough now, or like chill enough now, that she can wear long sleeves. I was having a massive coughing fit because Ed was cooking this evening that you're watching. He was cooking fajitas, and they were like, there was so much spice in the air that I was having a coughing attack. So anyway, sorry, that was not a planned detour that I meant to go on about my own family's history with all of that. But I think, or my neighbor, honestly, I don't know. I don't know why I went off on that tangent, honestly, but that's okay. I think it's important to talk about because again, there is often so much shame and guilt and secrecy and stigma around addiction and mental health and getting help and support, right? A, because there's not a lot of help and support available. B, because even if it is available, the person often doesn't want it. And C, because as the family or spouse, like often no matter what you do, everybody is going to have an opinion about it, right? Like everybody's going to have a judgment about what you should be doing instead, no matter what you do, right? If you set a hard limit, then you're a horrible, heartless person. If you don't set a hard limit, then you're a doormat and letting them walk all over you. And there's no winning. There's a lady, I'll try to find her. There's a lady that has a really intense Instagram account, like super impactful, where she talks about her husband who died of alcoholism. And she's a younger, she's like in her 40s. She's got teenage sons. But she just talks about this very thing, right? Where like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Like she divorced her husband about a month or two before he passed. And she calls herself a widow, right? Even though she divorced him. And people like his family and a lot of outsiders are just so aggressively angry about that. And she just shares about how complicated it is, right? Like you love the person, but ultimately, like you have to love yourself and your kids more and do what you need to do to take care of yourself and to prevent trauma as much as possible for your kids, even if you love the addicted person. And I mean, I've seen also in my life, we have a family friend who lost her husband to alcoholism at 40, I think he was 45, like literally just drank himself to death, and bled out in the ER because his organs. Oh, there's my outfit for the next day. I was showing you how I still prep. I put my outfit up and my workout clothes for the next day up. Sorry, that was getting a little intense. But yeah, that's just, addiction is rough. It sucks. I did not intend to talk about addiction today, but here we are. And here's this. Here's the top of the dresser. It never stays clean. I mean, I was going to say, I don't know why I clean it off ever. Because there's like an explosion of hair bows. A spider toy, like whatever. I don't, I was going to say, I don't know why I clean it off, but I do know why I clean it off. I clean it off because it does make me feel better when it's not cluttered like this. And it makes my husband feel better when it's not cluttered like this. But it's also like when it's not cluttered, it's just such an easy place to put things because it's clean, right? Like it's a clean place to put clean clothes that you haven't got the energy to put away, or like it's a clean place to put a stack of towels that are clean. So anyway, that's that. And I was watching or listening to the Atheist Experience. That's what's playing there. That was a wild episode. This guy called in. It's a call-in show, right? Like a listener call-in show. This guy called in and was basically saying that he could he wasn't a Christian. He was like what did he call himself? Like a Gnostic. Not agnostic, but Gnostic. And he was saying that he could like project himself, like astral project himself into other places and could like see things in the room in other places, and like that he could control the weather. Yeah. And then they tested him to see if he could do it on the spot. And spoiler alert, he could not. But it was a really interesting call. It was pretty funny. So I think it's like one of the most recent episodes of the Atheist Experience, if you're interested. It was a real hoot. Anyway, so that's what I do while I clean my house. What else? What else can we talk about? We only have a couple more minutes left. I think I did great. We talked about a lot. I'm a little nervous having talked about my neighbor and my brother. I think talking about other people's lives can be a little tricky, a little whatever. But, it's not like I'm giving identifying information. It's not like you're going to be able to Google like Millennial Meg's next door neighbor. I mean, I guess you could if you were like super determined, you could probably figure it out. But I don't suggest you do that. It's not worth it. Like the juice is not worth the squeeze. What else? Oh, Pam, Cali Animal Lover. Hello, if you're still watching this. I could send you a message on Instagram, but I don't really go on Instagram anymore, so I'm just going to talk to you here. I finally opened your package from my now defunct what's it called? Post office box. Oh, look at that. It's so clean. So thank you so much for the star and the ornaments for Amelia's little mini Christmas tree that she has. I really appreciate it. I know you sent it like in December or January of this past months ago, but we finally closed the post office box and now I got it because we don't have the post office box anymore. So thank you, Pam. Appreciate it. Also, shout out to all of the rest of you that comment on like every single video and our loyal viewers. I love you so much. You guys are amazing. You're so supportive. I almost never get mean comments except on that one stupid viral video that I have that has like 31,000 views. And most of them obviously are all like strangers who've never seen me before. So I don't really take those comments seriously. But to you who are loyal listeners, longtime followers, thank you so much. And to the new people who have fallen in love with me more recently, thank you for watching too. Welcome. Long story short, I'm okay, didn't have a heart attack, and I'm going to try and eat better and stop having so much sugar so that I'm not a butterball turkey when I finally do a vlog together with Beth in October. So I can't let her be like super skinny and healthy and me be horrifyingly like the freaking blueberry from Willy Wonka, right? So I think that's it. I love you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Mwah. Goodbye.